This is an intro. Who needs an intro? I don't need an intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show. This is an intro. Who needs an intro? I don't need an intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show.
YouTube, what is up? I'm your homeboy Josh, back at you with a look at the VCST by Vaperz Cloud, sent on over free for the purpose of this review by thecloudyvapor.com. I gotta say, guys, this is one of the most interesting and puzzling devices that I've ever come across. Kennedy-style airflow in an RTA that does not leak. But before we get into this new offering from Vaperz Cloud, I do want to take the time to remind you that we all have a part to play in the fight against Big Pharma, Big Tobacco, the FDA, and the deeming regulations that are looming over our heads. That means if you're on social media, remember to paint the best possible image of the vape community that you can. If you're a shop or a shop owner, remember you need to educate your customers who come in. Let them know that they have a part to play in this fight if they want to keep vaping. And remember to support all of CASAA's calls to action, including that to support HR 2058 and the Cole Bishop Amendment. Kennedy-style airflow that doesn't leak. What the fuck?
Dude, you totally said that already. I'm gonna have to ask you not to repeat yourself.
I can lay this thing on its side for an extended period of time and it doesn't leak out the bottom. I could not fucking believe that. It blew my mind. I would suddenly realize that this thing was laying down on its side. I would run over and be like, oh crap, what kind of mess did I make? But no, nothing. There's no mess. It leaked on me one time, first time I filled it, and that's because, well, filling it is fucking weird. It's the weirdest thing that I've ever experienced. Basically, you pull out the motherfucking drip tip, but first you have to close off the juice flow. It's a mammoth-sized drip tip. This thing is huge, and it doesn't come with an adapter. It's the biggest fucking thing that I've ever fit in my mouth.
The drip tip, in addition to being basically like vaping on a tailpipe because it's so damn wide, it takes a little getting used to, but you do, and I've come to like it. In addition to being a super wide chuff cap though, it's got a really long connection. And the reason for that is that it's in place so that it can close up the juice fill port inside the chimney. Kind of weird, I know.
It's just fucking huge. It took a little bit of getting used to. It's like a tailpipe, but you pop that out to fill it, right? And then you take your juice, and there's this little fill hole on the side of the chimney.
Yeah, the first thing you notice on this chimney is A, that it's just super wide the whole way around, and there's no point where this goes skinnier at all, but it works really, really well nonetheless with that Kennedy-style airflow, which we'll talk about in a moment. The flavor on this is fantastic. But the second thing you notice about this chimney is that the fill port is on the inside, and to get to it, you've got to push your dripper bottle inside the chimney and sort of angle it so that you're filling through that fill port at the top of the chimney. And you want to treat where it says VCST as kind of a fill line. You don't want to fill too far beyond where it says VCST or else it can kind of leak on you, I've noticed. But as long as you stick to around where it says VCST, you're gonna be in pretty good shape here. In addition to where it says VCST, you'll also notice that on the sides, there are two locks. And the way these two locks function is that they line up with these two little dots that are on the deck. And when the locks are lined up with those two dots in the deck, you can just pull apart the tank so you can get access to your coils at any time.
What's also nice is regardless of the juice level, you can access your coils at any time, just like that, and just lock it back up, just like so. I usually keep the locks off to the sides where this knurled portion is on the airflow control at the bottom, so I'm not in danger of accidentally opening it, but otherwise, it's not going anywhere. They're not opening. Dripper bottle and angle it like this, and then push the juice down in there through that hole at the top of the chimney. It is the weirdest fucking thing that I've ever seen. A little bit awkward because you're coming at it from the side, angling it like this so you can get in there, doing your very best not to get any juice back down that hole into the chimney because that can force it to leak. You only want to fill it so that it's maybe just over where it says VCST, not really any more than that.
So if you're the kind of person that gets a little OCD by not being able to fill up the whole tank, this one's not going to be for you. But for those of you that can get past it, it's pretty awesome.
And then when you're closing up the juice fill, you're basically just pushing this drip tip back into place. But you want to be super careful that you're not covering the top of the drip tip when you do it, because if you do, you're going to flood everything out the bottom because it's going to create that pressure, right? So there's some rules that you need to follow in filling this thing to make it work for you. Once you've cleared the chamber of any juice that may have traveled into those airflow holes while you're filling it up, there's no leaking. None whatsoever. I mean, this is the first time I've ever felt with a Kennedy-style airflow that I didn't have to constantly babysit the device.
The deck houses a Velocity-style posts with a Kennedy-style airflow, and I've had some misgivings about Velocity-style decks in the past, but I've never had a wonderful experience with Kennedy-style airflow until today.
It's got that Kennedy-style airflow with the Velocity-style deck. I just push those wicks off to the sides of it, to the sides of the deck, and those little caverns next to the airflow holes. It directs those wicks right where the juice flow is. Once I got past learning the ins and outs of filling it, it's been a joy to use because it's Kennedy-style airflow that I don't have to babysit. And once I got used to this wide bore drip tip, I'm actually starting to really like it. Part of me still wishes it came with the option to use my own drip tip, like it came with an adapter of some kind. That would be nice, but I kind of like it. All the airflow restriction comes at the bottom. Everything else is wide open.
Adjusting the airflow is done with this little ring at the bottom. You can open it up all the way, close it down all the way. It's something like 3 millimeters by 6 or 7 millimeters, the airflow, and it's pretty ample. And there's no restriction at all at the chimney. It basically is just like vaping on a Kennedy. There's no restriction except by however you adjust the airflow at the bottom.
You can actually drip right through this chimney with these down to the coils if you wanted to. Because you can't fill this up all the way. You can't fill it past that juice intake at the top of the chimney or else it's gonna leak right out. It took some getting used to with this thing. But wait, what's this? Did somebody say alternate fill method? What? Check this shit out right here. Oh, fill from the bottom? What? Check that shit out. And when you fill from the bottom, you can fill that shit all the way up. What? Just like that. That shit's filled all the way up. And it ain't fucking leaking. Hell yeah. Pretty dope. It just kind of grew on me, honestly. The flavor is what you expect from Kennedy-style airflow. A warm, wet, saturated vape. It's delicious. You can turn it up as high as you want, pretty much. Can you see inside that airflow hole? There's no juice collecting in the airflow hole. There's no splatter around the mod. It's the best experience I've ever had with Kennedy-style airflow. This thing doesn't fucking leak. It's Kennedy-style airflow that doesn't leak. That's fucking amazing. You can pick up the VCST at thecloudyvapor.com for $55. An authentic of this caliber for $55? Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Full disclosure, I do get a 7% commission on anything you buy at thecloudyvapor.com after clicking the affiliate link in the description. If you click that link, you'll be supporting me and supporting the channel, and I definitely appreciate it.
I venture to say that it really does improve upon the Kennedy-style design, creates something that doesn't fucking leak. I mean, that's a win right there.
And if you want to continue to see products like the VCST on the market, remember, do your part, support HR 2058 and the Cole Bishop Amendment. We all have a part to play.
And I gotta say, I do love the support HR 2058 vape band that it came with. That thing's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool that they included it. I like that. Vaperz Cloud, that's awesome. Anyway, till next time, I'm your homeboy Josh. Vape on, Vapers.